On the 6th of June, 2026, Omar Artan landed in Miami, carrying a diplomatic passport, a valid visa, and FIFA accreditation as one of 52 referees selected for the World Cup. Border agents pulled him aside anyway. For 11 hours, the questioning never touched his career. It centered on Al-Shabaab, a militant group operating in parts of Somalia, his home country. Not his matches, not his credentials. A terrorist organization, for 11 hours. They questioned the man, not the job he came to do. He was placed in a holding cell, then flown back to Istanbul, with no detail given beyond vetting concerns. If you work internationally, your paperwork can be flawless and still mean nothing. Keep a written record of every credential check before you travel for work. FIFA's first response was procedural, not human. The governing body confirmed Artan would not officiate, confirmed it had no authority over host country immigration, and confirmed the decision was final. Then, on June 12th, the day after the tournament opened, FIFA's president was asked directly what had been done for a man his own organization selected and detained for 11 hours. His answer? Chill and relax. 2 words decided how this story would be remembered. For an organization that marketed this tournament around 500 million ticket requests and a promise of universal welcome, that phrase became the receipt for what welcome actually meant in practice. If a leader's words don't match a real decision, trust the decision, not the words. While FIFA offered procedure, UEFA offered a stage. Within hours of Artan landing back in Mogadishu, European football's president released a statement naming him directly. An excellent, already experienced referee, proven at the highest level of African football. Then came the appointment. On August 12th in Salzburg, Artan will referee the UEFA Super Cup between Paris Saint-Germain and Aston Villa, Champions League winners against Europa League winners, the opening match of the European season. One body offered sympathy, the other offered a final. The wording mattered too. UEFA cited the officiating skill that had earned him his World Cup nomination, a direct rebuttal of the airport's vetting concerns. Notice when an institution responds with an action instead of a quote. Here's the insight most viewers miss. The Super Cup appointment wasn't a kindness, it was a verdict. A confederation with no jurisdiction over Miami Airport and no role in FIFA's vetting process chose to use its biggest non-World Cup stage to say, in effect, our selection committee trusts this man more than your border agents did. That is not comfort, that is correction, issued in public, by an institution with the standing to make it stick. A final isn't sympathy, it's a verdict in front of millions. On August 12th, Artan becomes the first African referee ever to lead a major UEFA final, a first that was supposed to belong to the World Cup. When you want to know what an organization values, watch what it builds, not what it says. If you're following how this plays out for Artan and for the next official caught between 2 institutions, subscribing keeps you here for it. There's still the pattern behind this story, who else got caught in it, and what it means going forward. Stick around for that. In Mogadishu, on the night Artan came home without his World Cup, thousands of people filled a stadium, not to watch a match, but to welcome back a referee. The president of African football later thanked his counterpart at UEFA by name, personally and publicly, for making the Super Cup appointment happen. That single gesture, one football executive thanking another by name in public, said something the Mogadishu crowd already understood. That recognition Artan was denied at an airport had to come from somewhere. A stadium can restore what an airport took away. It came from Salzburg, not Miami. When your own institution fails you, watch who shows up to fill the gap, and remember them. So was Artan's case an isolated failure, or part of something larger? The record says larger. Iran says FIFA revoked its supporters' entire ticket allocation days before its opening match. 14 Iranian officials were denied visas outright. An Iraqi striker was held for 7 hours of phone inspection. A team photographer was sent home entirely. 8 UEFA delegates walked out of a FIFA Council meeting earlier this year, and supporter organizations across Europe have filed formal legal complaints alleging monopoly abuse in ticketing. 1 incident is a mistake. 6 incidents are a pattern. Before you accept isolated incident as an explanation, check whether it happened more than once. The real question isn't who said the worst thing. It's who actually holds power to protect the people inside these tournaments. FIFA controls the World Cup itself, the schedule, the broadcasting deals, the prize money, the selection of officials from anywhere in the world. But it has no authority over a host country's border agents, and on June 10th, that gap cost a referee his tournament. UEFA has no World Cup jurisdiction at all, yet it moved faster and more concretely than the body that actually ran the event. Authority and accountability don't automatically live in the same building. Before trusting an organization's values, check whether its structure can actually enforce them. Picture Salzburg on the night of August 12th. Paris Saint-Germain and Aston Villa walking out for the Super Cup. And at the center of the pitch, Omar Artan, whistle in hand, the first African referee ever to lead a major UEFA final. He didn't get there through FIFA's tournament. He got there through 11 hours in a Miami corridor, a flight back to Istanbul, a stadium of strangers in Mogadishu who came out just to welcome him home, and a phone call from a different governing body entirely. He reached the final no one expected him to reach. When the system that should protect you fails, look for the door someone else chose to open. This wasn't a misunderstanding sorted out after the fact. It was a structural failure FIFA confirmed and never reversed, then dismissed with 2 words. UEFA answered with an appointment instead, and by 2030, every confederation watching this will know exactly which institution moves when it matters. Next time, watch this space, because the World Cup will need to answer for it on a bigger stage.